Before I came to college, I was told a number of times that I was about to enter the best years of my life. I heard from several family members who had long since graduated and entered the workforce about how amazing their college experience was. The benefits, the opportunities, the friendships, the memories. I heard from people that were excited for me to go have the time of my life, and I heard from people who were more pessimistic, telling me to enjoy these years before I have to go work for the rest of my life. And then I got to college, thinking it was going to be this magical place. People smiling and laughing, everything sunshine and rainbows. But almost nobody I met here at college represented the attitude that I had been told I would see. Instead, people were complaining that they were drowning in work, stressed for quizzes and exams, stuck in ongoing drama with friends or dating partners, and just waiting for the semester to end already. And this made me ask myself, is this what the best 4 years of my life is supposed to look like? I realized that one of two things must be true. Either A, the world is a cruel place filled with suffering at every turn that only gets worse as the years goes on, or B, people just don't realize how good they have it. Now, I'm the type to always choose the mindset that's the most empowering. Not delusional, not naive, but empowering. And I don't think I would still be here today if I went with the first mindset. So, instead, I started thinking about this conundrum. I kept hearing that these 4 years would be the happiest and most enjoyable of my life. And then I arrived and saw students who were stressed, unhappy, and full of complaints. Why is this the case? Well, there are probably many reasons, but there's one main reason that I want to talk about today. The main thing that I learned was that these were supposed to be the good years, the happiest years of my life. But I didn't realize what people meant when they said good and happiest. While these words sound self-explanatory, they can actually mean very different things in different contexts. The college experience that was often presented to me included things like drinking, partying, short-term sexual relationships, minimal responsibilities, sleeping in, and eating whatever and whenever you wanted to. If someone's college experience looks like that, and we're using the term good to describe it, then we're saying that those behaviors represent an ideal lifestyle. And when we use the word happy, we're describing a high quantity of short-term pleasures that fade almost as quickly as the hangover. I don't say this to judge anyone's decisions, but what I've learned is that the reason so many people seemed unhappy when I arrived, even though these were supposedly the happiest years of our lives, was because we weren't talking about the kind of happiness that actually sustains you, the kind that lasts. I came into college thinking happiness was a goal to achieve, but I eventually realized my idea of happiness was wrapped up in pleasure and good fortune, things that are mostly out of my control unless I pursue them to an unhealthy extent. There's another kind of happiness that I realize is worth pursuing, and it's accessible not only to college students, but also to the family members that told me these were the best years of my life, to the wealthy and to the poor, the married and the divorced, the healthy and the sick. And this happiness isn't really even happiness. It's contentment. It's peace of mind. The reason why contentment is accessible in every circumstance is because all contentment is being completely satisfied with whatever your situation is at the present moment. That's it. The issue with the happiness I brought forth earlier is that it's largely reliant on pleasure and good fortune, and when you have a moment of pleasure or good fortune comes your way, it's usually temporary and can last as short as a few seconds and as long as several years maybe. The point being that it doesn't last. And eventually, you start to seek more of these moments because just one of them doesn't sustain you. Moments of happiness don't sustain you. If our definition of happiness is dependent on good things outside of our control happening to us, or if it's totally reliant on positive emotional experiences, then we are creating unstable conditions for our peace of mind. They're unstable because they're out of our control. Peace of mind cannot be achieved if it's conditioned to be in the future, because it only exists in the present. The truth is, whether or not we know it, the real happiness that we're looking for is contentment. And because of our poor definition of happiness, people often think that contentment comes from a change in circumstances. When the semester is over, I'll have peace of mind. When I get paid vacation, I'll have peace of mind. When I retire from my job, I'll have peace of mind. But contentment is only possible when you've become content with what you have now, by definition. That may be difficult at times, but that doesn't change the fact that it's accessible to all people at all times. And it may be one of the only things that is fully within our control. Any situation in your life can be improved. You can be on a vacation in Malibu, drinking martinis by the beach, but maybe it's a little too hot and you wish it was 10 degrees cooler. But if that's enough to rob you of your happiness and your peace of mind in that moment, then you probably lead a miserable life. So ask yourself, what are your conditions for happiness? I'd like to end this video with a quote that I thought of when I was writing the script. In his book, Letters from a Stoic, the philosopher Seneca advised a friend to give up empty, meaningless pursuits, what he called unnatural ones. What makes a pursuit empty or unnatural? Seneca answers this by saying, ask yourself whether the pursuit is capable of coming to rest at any point. If after going a long way, there is always something remaining further away, be sure that it is not something natural. What do you think? Does this relate to your own experiences? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you for watching.